What's going on, guys? It's John here from Hot Take Hockey to talk about the Leafs, some trade rumors, some deals that could go down, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Mitch Marner contract situation. So if you are here, please subscribe to the channel, hit a thumbs up, every like counts, and comment your thoughts below. So I'm getting right into this tweet here from Darren Dreger. So as I make this video today, this was today. The Toronto Maple Leafs bracing for activity, telling teams they will listen on Kapanen and Kadri, would need a D-back in a Kapanen trade and a center back for Kadri. Strong sense Connor Brown could go as well. So I think this is pretty crazy, even though we've known that all three of these players could go down in a trade. But for Dreger to bring all three of them together, and the fact that the draft is coming up, free agency is coming up, and I'm looking over Twitter, and even from sources like Elliot Friedman, James Myrtle, they believe that the Leafs are going to make at least 3, 4, 5 trades in this offseason. And individual trades, again, Connor Brown, Kadri, Kapanen. I wonder if an Andreas Johnsson will go. The sense is that Kapanen actually brings more value than Johnsson, just for the overall potential and what he can bring to a team. Johnsson did arguably have a better year, especially towards the end. But Kapanen just brings that more potential in other teams' eyes. For a guy like Nazem Kadri, it's not just the fact that he can be a number 2 center, it's the fact that he's on an unbelievable deal. We're talking about a $4.5 million cap hit, and you're looking at a guy like Kevin Hayes that just signed for over $7 million, and a lot of people would argue, myself included, that Kadri is a better player than Kevin Hayes. He just brings more to his game, and when Kadri's on, you could argue maybe he's a little more inconsistent. When Kadri's on, he can be a scoring machine. He can be that really solid two-way centerman on the defensive side of things. And I just believe Kadri would be a huge get for any team in the league. And looking at possibly the second busiest, they might even be busier than the Leafs in this offseason. The Winnipeg Jets would definitely target Kadri. For Kapanen, many teams, but the Carolina Hurricanes seem to be the team looking at him the most. There's been some chatter that the Hurricanes would accept a deal that doesn't get too huge for a guy like maybe Falk or Hamilton. I think Pesce is a guy the Leafs like, but it really depends if the Hurricanes want to lose him. It kind of changed throughout the year, because at one point it was Pesce that they were willing to give up. And Slavin was always the guy that they were going to keep. But now it's become a rumor that Hamilton's the guy they would rather trade, or even Falk, who has 1 year left on his deal. So that's going to be really interesting. I actually like Falk a lot. He brings that physical game, the offensive side of things. I wouldn't say he's this huge defensive liability. I know that kind of sounds bad, but compared to Hamilton, I just don't really like Hamilton. He doesn't make me feel comfortable in the defensive side of things. So I would like Falk beside a guy like Riley potentially. So I wonder if a trade like that goes down. For Connor Brown, we've talked about it. The Edmonton Oilers have always been the leading candidate. I think the New York Islanders were thrown in there as well at one point. So it'll be interesting to see. I think if we're talking about deals that could go down, I would say the Leafs could potentially make 2 or 3 deals before July 1st. If they want to figure out the Mitch Marner situation, and obviously Patrick Marleau, Nikita Zaitsev is in there as well, but with this tweet, it's just those 3 players. You're talking about 5 or 6 players in total that the Leafs could be in deep discussions for a trade from now until July 1st. So that's crazy. I think this obviously affects the Mitch Marner situation big, and the fact that Andreas Johnsson and Kapanen are a phase as well. But for Mitch Marner, just to talk about it quick, ridiculous. I don't know where it's become where this guy is going to make more than guys like Patrick Kane, Nikita Kucherov. I get it. I get the whole tax thing. I understand that aspect. But you're a winger that just had his first year of getting over 80 points. Like, for this contract to be signed, you would expect Mitch Marner to get 80, 90 plus points every year. 11 million. So obviously you look at the contracts that were just signed, and Jeff Skinner and Erik Karlsson, that makes a difference as well. But Mitch Marner would only, at this point, it seems like, would sign for the 11 million per year, but only on like a 5-year deal or a 4-year deal, more of a term of Austin Matthews. I think he's looking at the Austin Matthews versus the John Tavares, which I already think the 11 million is quite a bit. The whole time you guys have heard me say, I thought, maybe not on the full 8-year deal, but on a shorter deal, whether it was 5 or 6, looking at in between 10, 10.5. That's what I always thought it was. And now this has just completely surprised me that this report has come out and that he's not even going to accept 11 at the 8-year, which I think is pretty crazy. So again, guys, we've talked about it. Whether it's a Timo Meier or a Braden Point or a Mikko Rantanen, a lot of people believe this could be the year where we see an offer sheet. I don't know if it's going to go down, but it's going to be a crazy year. A couple teams are going to be super busy. I think a lot of teams are going to be busy, but a couple teams, including like the Leafs, Jets, Oilers, there's going to be a lot of teams that are super busy, and I think the Leafs are on top in that front. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you are here, please do subscribe, hit a thumbs up, leave your comments below on a trade that you think could go down, which player from the Leafs you could see getting dealt, and if you think the Leafs are going to make this amount of trades that are rumored. So thank you. This was John from Hot Take Hockey. Have a good one. Peace out.